Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our new episode of the Africa Today, where our program centers on the African issues, where we give you political relationships on the African continent and the economic trends and the social issues. And starting our episode today with Egypt took part in the G20 summit, in the first to be held in Africa, emphasizing the reforms to global finance. The two-day event is held under the theme of the solidarity, equality and sustainability. More in the following report.
Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli joined world leaders in Johannesburg for the opening of the 2025 G20 summit, the first to be held on African soil, as hosts pushed for stronger representation of developing economies in global decision-making. The two-day gathering, held under the theme Solidarity, Equality and Sustainability, brings together the world's major economies at a moment of growing financial strain across the global south, from mounting debt to worsening climate shocks. South Africa, which holds this year's rotating presidency, has signaled its intention to use the summit to elevate African priorities, including food security, climate finance, and reforms to global lending institutions. The African Union, AU, admitted as a permanent G20 member in 2023, is participating alongside the European Union and 19 member states. Madbouli attended a working dinner hosted by South African President Cyril Ramaphosa for African leaders participating in the summit. Officials at Cairo at the meeting underscored what it sees as widening inequalities in the global financial system. Cairo has long argued that developing countries face rising borrowing costs, limited access to climate finance, and tightening conditions imposed by international lenders, challenges that have intensified amid global economic volatility. Madbouli said the G20 should be a forum for real solutions to the debt crisis and the structural barriers to growth, while improving developing countries' access to financing for climate adaptation and infrastructure. He also noted Egypt's unusual role this year. That's to say, although attending as a guest country, Cairo was invited to host one of the group's official meetings, a first for any non-member participant. Talks among African leaders ahead of the summit focused on aligning positions on food insecurity, debt relief and industrialization, issues where the continent has pushed for faster action and greater global coordination.
Welcome back, dear viewers, and to shed more light on this issue that Egypt has taking part in the G20 summit, we are much delighted to be joined by Ambassador Sou'ad Shalaby, the former Assistant Foreign Minister. Hello, Mrs. Ambassador Sou'ad. Welcome to Nile TV International. How do you see the hosting of the G20 of the first time on African soil?
Well, this is a very important event for all the global south, and first time to be held in Africa, in the South African region in South Africa. The country of South Africa has hosted the G20, and all the leaders of the world have convened so that they can solve the problem of sustainable economic growth, development and financing of projects in the developing world.
Yes, Mrs. Ambassador, the event is being held under the theme of the solidarity and the equality and the sustainability. How do you read the theme of the event, especially for the needs of the global south?
Well, as you know, all the developing countries have been looking to investments and to foreign investments, and this is a very good opportunity for the G20 in order to increase the trade with the countries of the global south, and also to increase investments. And this is a very good opportunity for the countries of the global south, and for also the northern region global, to meet for the northern countries and the western countries to meet with leaders of the G20 in this summit. It's 2 days, but it includes many countries like Saudi Arabia, Argentina, Canada, Brazil, China, Mexico, and Russia. And this is mainly to increase the trade, increase the investment, and also to make room for the products of the global south to reach the global north. The countries in the northern region are in need for all the products of the global south countries. So this is a good opportunity for exporting, for the major exporters in Egypt and in other countries like Brazil, Turkey, to increase their trade with the northern countries, the western countries.
Yes, Mrs. Ambassador, also as we know that South Africa has broken their traditions at the first time of the G20 summit by issuing a leader's declaration on the opening day, largely focusing on the climate change and the global wealth. How do you read this move in the inequality?
Of course, this is a very good step from the Italian government, and of course, this Italy have led the recipients with $2.6 billion, followed by the UK 1.7, and the United States 1.6, Germany $347 million, and South Korea 296, and Saudi Arabia 295. And China and other countries also have contributed to the G20 countries in order to increase the trade and, of course, the investments also in different fields that are needed, whether it is in climate change or in exploration of raw materials or reinvestment in industries and small and medium industries.
Okay, Mrs. Ambassador Sou'ad Shalaby, the former Assistant Foreign Minister, thank you so much for joining us on Nile TV International. Your insights is very informal. And moving to another report, ladies and gentlemen, Cairo and Abuja has discussed the ways to strengthen the bilateral ties and exchange views on the African issues. This came during a meeting between the foreign ministers from the two countries on the sidelines of the G20 meeting in Johannesburg. More in the following reports.
Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati met with Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs